Mr. Friedman,
Here.
Mr. Greenspan, Ms. Micchio,
Here.
Mr. Seitler,
Here.
Mr. Silver, Mr. Slatkin, Mr. Tiff, Mr. Grunhut.
Yeah, before we just go to the minutes, etc., Ms. Silver would like to introduce our SIN.
Asim Johnson from the high school, class president of the Lakewood High School senior year, correct? Perhaps you can give us an update? Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Ms. Silver. Hello, everyone. This week, early after high school, I guess the school started, because the last time we had a meeting, it was in August. But the high school scene things, they're different. For the better, though, it seems like a much more serious tone. Hello? Can you all hear me? Okay. It seems like a much more serious tone. I hope that's throughout the district and the other schools. I know things have been in place to help with the grant that's at our school, and I hope to see some changes in matters of technology. But from what I can see, it seems much more serious. The things have a little more structure at the school. I'll give you some updates and various things. For the volleyball, they had a game on Wednesday. They have 3 games. I don't really know the scores. For boys soccer, they had a game against Jackson yesterday. It was 2-1. That's nice. For girls soccer, they had a game yesterday and they lost. It was 0-4. But that's still nice. In the marching band, they have their first competition at Toms River East is on Saturday. So that'll be their debut performance of their show, which is on Motown. And there will be a varsity football game at the Wall Township tomorrow. And I'd also like to report to the board and to everyone who's here an incident that I observed on Tuesday. It's a very serious incident. It's not really anything to laugh about. So I'll tell you, on Tuesday, I came to the school the 20th of September, and I was outside with a friend of mine. Her name is Keishla Martinez. I don't know if you're allowed to say names, but that's my friend of mine. I'm living at 6 Oak Street.
Said it already.
And we were outside, and we all talking, have a good old time. And a parent came up to us while we were outside, and she's with her 2 kids, a girl and a boy. And the girl said, well, there's Keishla, the daughter. And so the mom said, can you come over here? I want to speak to you. It's a Hispanic woman. So she went over to the side and she started speaking with the woman. And she she's being very disrespectful. She started like yelling at my friend, being very rude, nasty, saying all types of things. And I watched this and everyone around us were all shocked because what I'm thinking is she has no right to be on the school grounds. She does not have the right, but whatever problem you have, you do that with the administration. You can't just bring the law into your own hands and question the student. That's not right. So after briefly watching her just really disrespect my friend, I went into the building because I was outside. It's around breakfast time, and I found Ms. Paterzo, the guidance director at the high school, who was in the cafeteria. And I told her what was happening, and she said, okay, son, I'll come right away. So we went outside, and the mother was continuing to harass my friend Keishla. And so Ms. Paterzo went over there and tried to disperse it. But then the mother turned on her and started yelling and getting loud and rude and obnoxious with her. And after briefly watching this, I left again to go get a male figure, thinking that he could probably break this up quickly. And I went in and I found the teacher there, and he said, okay. We went outside, and by then Ms. Paterzo had walked off a bit to find a security guard, and the mother could continue to talk to the girl, and the male teacher, he was watching, trying to have some type of idea of what's happening out here. And eventually a woman security guard, she did come out, and she started telling the woman she had to leave the school, And eventually, about that time, it was ushering us inside. It was time for school to start. And I waited in the hallway a bit for my friend. And we walked to class together, and we had first period together, and everything seemed to be going good. For the day, I didn't hear any more about, didn't even have to come to the office or what that whole deal was with the mother and her 2 kids. But later that day, I was going to lunch, 4th period, and I ran into someone who told me, my friend, she said, oh, you know, your friend Keishla, she just got into a fight. I was very surprised. I said, what? I was shocked, but not surprised, because I know the way how the girl instigated this situation. I expected it, but I was surprised, but shocked. So I went to the office and I couldn't see my friend. She was first I think she was in Mr. Riley's office and she was in like the nurse's office. And I eventually had to leave. I had to go back to class, couldn't find my friend. And I believe eventually the both mothers were contacted and the girls were taken out of the school because just to tell you what happened, everyone what happened at the fight, I wasn't able to witness it, but everyone's been talking about it since. The girl came behind my friend and she I grabbed her by the hair, knocked her on the ground, and she started hitting her, beating her. And while she was on the ground, she told her to get up. As my friend was getting up, she like kicked her towards the face. And but my friend, she blocked it, and so she has like a scar on her chest area and above her right eye, or her left eye, but above her eye. And so she was going for the day, and I believe while this whole event was happening in the cafeteria, there were people who were videotaping it with their camera phones, and now from what I hear, that the whole incident of the fight is on Facebook, and the girl posted that there's going to be a round 2 when she comes back, and it's not over there.
I think in the interest of time, one of the things that I'll ask is that then this is a bigger issue that I certainly wasn't aware of. So one of the things I'm going to ask that just in the interest of time, you, myself, and Mr. Wilson will talk about this to see how we're going to resolve it because...
Excuse me, through the chair, Ms. Silver, were you aware of this incident?
No, I am not. That's why I'm saying I'm going to the high school tomorrow and then we'll find out about this whole thing. But I want to thank you for bringing it up to our attention.
Oh yes, and I just had one more thing to say. I had to the girl filled out a report.
I understand, but this is not part of the report. So one of the things that we can do next month is report out what took place. Because right now, there's a lot of things we don't know about this incident.
If you could stay through the chair, there may be some legal ramifications. If we could speak to you right after this meeting, so because this is not information that was shared with the board or myself. So if you could stay, I know you have school tomorrow morning, but if you will be done relatively shortly, if you could stay for a few moments so we can get some of this information. Because to the best of my knowledge, I didn't see this on the report, but if we could get to that. Is there anything good going on at the high school? Oh, come on.
Sure.
How's Mr. Gilson doing?
Oh, he's going on this week. He's, I think with the state. So we have.
All right. You can only try.
I'd also like to take this opportunity to share with the public that on Saturday, a newly formed parent and community group called the Mexican Civic Association sponsored the first Mexican Heritage. It was Independence Day. I believe it was on Saturday, and there was a parade that was attended by at least 2,000 people. I want to take this opportunity to thank the teachers that attended and supported this. I also want to take the opportunity to extend my appreciation and gratitude to the 6 principals. All our principals attended this, as well as at least 3 or 4 assistant principals. It was well attended. I think there was a wonderful connection between the township. I also want to publicly thank Binoche Miller, our mayor, for helping to sponsor this, as well as Chief Lawson. Their help in this whole issue was invaluable. Our children participated, and we plan to participate again next year. So thank you very much. And next year, perhaps everyone here in this room will attend also. Many of you did, but perhaps the board members will. Okay? Thank you.
There are, Madam Chairperson, Sir President and Superintendent, there are some changes Ms. Arlene wants to read or modify.
Okay. On page 2J, the amount will be up to $200,000. This is for hurricane damage to the trailers. On pages 7, delete the whole page. Page 8, delete the whole page. Page 9, delete the whole page. And on the top of page 10, delete J's bus service. I have one addendum to read. I have many addendums, but this is the longest, so okay.
That's the agenda changes.
Okay.
We do have quite a few people from the public signed up, Mr. Chairperson, so shall I give the names? If I pronounce it incorrect, I'm sorry. Georgiana Cruz, Georgiana.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Georgina. We are parents from Clifton Ray School, son of the left of the place. We are here because we want to improve the building of the school. The situation we have now is the school needs air conditioning because there are too many students in one room, like 30, 32, or something like that. And the condition is insane. That's why we need to work together. The parents, we are ready to act whatever you decide. We can do events to get funds, to cooperate with you, but we need to act now. We are ready to work. Thank you.
Thank you. Through the chair.
Yes.
Didn't the board hear from people last year and they were going to fix the air conditioning? Okay. Wait,
They were talking about
let me rephrase. There was I know we had people here last year. And I know there were people complaining about the air conditioning.
Yeah, but that was what.
And I know that Arlene and the company, Arlene, Aramar, was supposed to go out, go out and look at the air conditioning. Am I making this up?
No,
So why is there still a problem?
I believe the bids were given. I don't know if the board actually had an opportunity to review what was given to them with regards to that.
What was given to them?
The amount that it would cost to have our schools air conditioned. Well, you know what, we can have her have a presentation the next month.
All right, perhaps we can have tomorrow sent to the entire board.
Okay.
The thing that was allegedly sent, and then we can all look at it, or the board can look at that. Can you just translate what we just did in Spanish, Ms. Silva? So, I'm sorry.
La señora Cruz, para que usted conozca que nosotros tenemos una directora de todos los edificios. Ella está encargada de arreglar y ella hizo un estimado para lo que iba, lo que cuesta, y ahora los miembros de la Junta indicaron que ellos nunca lo vieron. Entonces mañana vamos a tener cuánto va el precio y entonces podemos seguir. Y entonces yo puedo comunicarme con usted a través del director Gray. ¿Ok?
And cannot, Ms. Silva, if you would, with the chairperson's permission, there appears to be quite a few parents. If you could ask in Spanish or English, what other parents are here on this air conditioning topic?
Hay otros padres que están aquí. Are there other parents here on the same issue of air conditioning?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and it's the same.
And therefore, are you all from Clifton?
Yes.
Well, let me just share with you then that our facilities director.
Un momento, hold it, 1 minute.
Our facilities director, Aramar, did you the expenses for installing all our public schools with air conditioning? It seems that there's been some miscommunication because the board members didn't get it. So what I'm being asked to do by the board president and the members is to make sure that they get it tomorrow. And then we can have more discussion once we have the facts in front of us.
Could you say that in Spanish, please?
Lo que voy a repetir es que los miembros de la Junta no han visto lo que cuesta para poner aire acondicionado en todas las escuelas. La señora encargada se llama Marlene Alvarado. Yo la voy a llamar o sea, a mandar un email que mañana tiene que mandar esa información a todos los miembros de la Junta, entonces se puede hacer una decisión, pero sin los hechos no se puede hacer.
Right,
Okay, that was set, that was done.
okay, does that,
¿Están satisfechos con esto? Is that satisfactory that we could give you a status report?
Yes.
Okay?
okay,
I just want to make sure that the report, besides including the cost recognition, will also include the cost of electricity
And the installation.
and installation and everything else.
okay. This young lady, what is your,
¿Usted me puede dar la
wait, hold on,
información?
hold it, hold it. Alejandra, hold it. Okay, all right. Is that you?
Yeah, Claudia.
No, I'm not reading Claudia, that's why I'm not saying Claudia. I'm saying Alejandra Martina. Are you Spanish? Are you satisfied with what Ms. Silva said, or do you want to address the board?
¿Usted está satisfecho o quiere hablar?
Don't have stage fright.
Está bien, sí, no, porque vamos a seguir con este caso.
Okay? And now Claudia.
Yeah.
Are you Claudia what's your name? Oh, she didn't write Martinez. Okay?
Estoy, ¿me oye? ¿Usted me puede traducir?
Sí, cómo no.
Ok, estoy por lo mismo, por el aire. Yo también tengo una niña en esa escuela,
Sí.
pero ella su condición es, ¿cómo se llama? Su salud de ella es mala, tiene asma, alergias, su condición no es buena.
Y por esa razón
Por esa
necesita.
razón, entonces los demás niños que tienen asma, ¿qué hay de ellos? Sí, en el aire acondicionado.
Is she saying the children have asthma?
Her daughter in particular suffers from asthma, and she believes that other children do too, and the air
Is it in
conditioning.
the IEP?
That's one of the things we'll discuss.
You can have asthma without IEP.
Yes.
Allergies.
I'm with you.
Las
I agree with
allergies,
you. Have you told the building principal? Habla
¿Ustedes
a
han
la
hablado con el
principal.
director?
No, ella apenas lleva 5 días. Su condición de ella siempre
Have you
ha estado
spoken to the principal?
enfermera.
So you
Los
have.
5 días lleva, ya lleva 2 días, que va bajando más.
¿Ustedes han hablado con el director de la escuela? El señor Gray. Okay.
Yeah, she
Yes,
said they
yes,
spoke.
yes.
This young lady here who speaks English, she says they did speak to Mr. Brown. Okay, Melissa Schuler, are you okay, or do you want to?
Okay.
Okay. Petra Nieves. Petra Nieves. Am I saying that wrong? Pietra Nieves, Jason Court. Efren Nieves,
No te
they left. Patricia Nieves. A la playa. Okay. Efrazanza Romirio,
también se fue.
they left also. Asin Johnson, I'm saying this wrong. Asin Johnson.
Right here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Why'd you sign? You don't have to sign in. Okay, I'm sorry. You live it. Mr. Williams, I know is here.
Yes.
Where? Do you want to speak?
I'm not going to get up to the microphone. Just want to, I already handled my primary situation with Gus. I want to thank him for doing everything he can do with the transportation. A couple of things, Ms. Silva, just want to get clarification on and see where we're at with the progress on it. Last year, we were supposed to have kind of some direction on what was going on with the security at the different schools, emergency preparedness and stuff like that.
Could you speak up, please?
You may want to use the
I
mic.
have to go to the mic.
I will start again if that's okay with the board.
There was a request for the emergency preparedness protocol that the district was going to implement. I may have missed it. Do we have any update on that? One other thing is the curriculum under the Title I supposed to have like parent council developed. Where are we at in the process? Have we selected anyone who's a part of that council?
One thing this district hasn't had, I believe it's in 10 years, so one of the things that I have been doing to be in Title I is I've indicated to all schools that they must have a parent room in order to have parents be able to gather, to be able to get information, and also to, quite frankly, the development of parent leadership. So that's already underhand. We've used Title I monies also, and they should be in every parent room to offer things like the Rosetta Stone. What I've asked every principal to do, and I continue to ask them, and they will be developing that, is to have a viable PTO, PTA, whatever they want to call it, but a parent organization with a parent president, vice president. So you and I are both on the same page. I want a viable council. Once we have the presidents from each school, which I've asked every principal to make sure happens, I believe in the statute it says that principals are responsible for making sure this happens. They're going to make sure it happens, and then we will have a much more vocal, I guess, or participant PTA in every school. So we're working on that.
But this is a council that you will be meeting with
Yes.
your advisors
Yes.
to determine curriculum choices.
Right, I will be sharing it with them, and and I'm looking to have the PTO president, PTO vice president. So I'm looking forward to that.
And just the side thing that I would like to mention. I was hoping that somehow, maybe through some training or some type of initiative, that we can possibly lose the, how can we say it, the self-imposed label of our students being urban learning students. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Len Wilson?
Good evening. Mr. President, on page 4 of the agenda, just an explanation. Is that transportation or?
One minute. Mr. Blackman just arrived at 9:20. Pastor, if you could ask all your questions.
Yeah, on page 4 of the agenda, that's transportation, that's money for transportation, am I right?
You're gonna, all your questions and then.
Okay, and then secondly, 2 meetings ago, Mr. President, I gave you some questions which I'm supposed to receive answers at the last meeting, which was canceled. So I'm expecting to get answers to those questions tonight.
Any other questions, Pastor?
That's it. That's all I have. I'm expecting to have those questions answered.
Gus, or Arlene, as far as page 4, those are 8.
In lieu of students. There's no busing for them. The parents are paid the amount that is, we're required to pay by state law.
That's all I want to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So,
With regard to the answers to the letters, the board president and I truthfully have been opening up schools,
okay.
putting in new people. So I'd like to say that by the next meeting, which is in October, we will have some response, both of us.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay. I will wait till the next meeting to get the
Okay.
questions.
I'm just wondering, where do these questions come from? I noticed
These questions are given to us by the community.
I thought so.
They're not fielded. They're not all made up by myself. They're fielded by the community.
No, it just seemed pretty apparent about that.
Yeah.
There wasn't apparent, there were some personal questions written down there. Just wondering.
Well, whether they're personal or not, these are taxpayers in our community that deserve answers. And,
All right.
and I mean, I would hope that you would, find no problem in answering those questions.
Okay, whatever.
Some of these questions, Some of these questions, Mr. President, is to send you to investigate so that you can get answers, because you always challenge me and ask me to bring you proof. So I'm bringing you homework so you can go and find out the answers to these questions. These are serious questions. And we do our homework and we bring you these questions in writing, and I would hope that you give us the same respect to give us answers. Even though I would be patient and I would wait till the next meeting to get answers to these questions, because I do understand.
We thank you for your patience.
Yes, okay. Thank
If you can give me another set, I don't,
Another set?
yeah, another set of those questions.
Another set.
Some of them know it already.
It's online. It's actually, everybody wants it online. These questions, as we receive them, we put them on in the paper. And as you see up there are some concerns in our community, sir, that merit some answers.
Where are the questions posted?
They're posted on
LakewoodUnite.org. LakewoodUnite.org.
Lakewood Unite. LakewoodUnite.com.
.org.
.org. Thank you very much.
That's all who signed up before we went in, but there were two other people. That would be the board's discretion after 8 o'clock. There are two other speakers, Mr. Hovden, Pastor Jackson. If it would be your pleasure to hear them, that would be your call. Okay, with that, I guess you're saying okay. So, Bill Hovden. Bill Hovden. We have a new person. Okay, go ahead.
Bill Hovden, 30 Schoolhouse Lane. Good evening, Mr. President. Mr. Johnson, I thought you were extremely articulate in your description of the incident that occurred at Lakewood High School. And I thank you for that. You're an observant young man that articulates yourself very well. You're a credit to Lakewood High School. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Superintendent, so look, I've asked several times in the past about the textbooks that were budgeted for this year. And the question follow-up is, now have we received them? And to what degree did we get everything that we wish to get? Did we get a partial? How are we doing on supplying textbooks to the student body?
Well, I'd rather, I'm sorry, I'll wait you finish your question. Is that?
The second issue, we've all been reading about the buses and busing in Lakewood Township. I know that Gus and the board and the administration are working hard on resolving that issue. I know it's not an easy thing to do. You got some surprises, but I hope that that is settled or about settled because those children are depending on you and your efforts to make sure they're safely transported from home to school and to return. So let us hope that that is well, and I'm sure you had some kind of a report tonight to tell us where we stand at this point, and are we over the hump on that. And the third and final question would be, how is this year different than last year? Have we put in the improvements that we hope to get? Are we looking to really reduce that dropout rate? Are we really looking for educational excellence with that wonderful meeting of the minds between teacher and student and parent to ensure that that student understands what the curriculum is, how they need to grasp it, and then to ensure through testing or other means, did they get it? So I hope we're going to hear that we're doing better this year, a better understanding of how to do that, and I'm sure you don't have many results yet, but let us hope that you'll report that to us on an ongoing basis as we go. Thank you.
With regard to the textbooks, my board asked me 3 months ago, I believe, I can't remember the exact month, but one of the things that we're exploring is to look at using 21st century technology in order to incorporate our textbooks within them. So we are now in the midst of outfitting our 5th and 6th graders, and in fact I was visiting some of them today in some of our schools with what we call iPads. And that will enable them to be able to write. We're also in the midst of looking up the copyright and what we have to pay for that in order to incorporate our textbooks into those iPads. They have quite a bit of a memory. So one of the things that we're doing, we're having staff development October 10th for the entire district, and our teachers will be getting trained in them. And so we're moving forward from that end. Mr. Gilson from the high school, and before school started, we went around to our high school teachers to ask them about books. Everyone has books, but one of the issues that some of the teachers raised was they wanted newer editions of certain books. For example, I believe it was biology. So all those purchase orders are in. The teachers are currently using what we have, and we're buying textbooks as we move forward. So it's a combination of using textbooks as well as the new 21st century technology. At our next meeting in October, one of the things I've asked is in terms of the overall results of the test, we're going to show it to the public to see. We've had some decent increases, nowhere near what we really want, so we're moving forward in terms of that. And I've also asked 3 principals to specifically, I don't know if we'll have time for the 3, but at least 2 per every month will come up and talk about how they're looking at their data with their staff, disaggregating the data so that we can determine what areas we're strong and what areas we're weak in so we can move forward. I believe that we are moving forward, and also one of the things that the public should understand is that we need retraining. Our commissioner has asked us to look at, and it's a nationwide piece, the Common Core. In other words, standards have been changed. And the standards that existed before, and we had a presenter about 2 months ago talking about what was acceptable now for 3rd grade is no longer acceptable. And in other words, the areas where the children have to master have gotten that much harder. Therefore, teachers have to learn it. We all have to learn it collectively. Nobody knows this. This is all new. So we're moving in that direction. October 10th, we're going to launch a lot of that training. I believe, so I answered that, and...
As far as transportation this evening,
that'll be Gus.
We did meet with the vendor, which we're going to have a hearing, but we've been advised by Mr. Gus that those issues have been resolved. Is that correct?
Yes.
The unfortunate problem that happened at Clark, Clifton, and several non-public schools, as far as buses not showing, has been resolved?
Yes, sir.
As far as late buses, other such issues, those are being resolved. Is that correct?
Yes, we're moving forward with progress every day.
So are you suggesting we do not have a public hearing on that issue?
I would suggest that, yes.
Okay, does the board have any questions regarding that issue? Seeing none. We also met with another vendor regarding an issue which, to your satisfaction, is being resolved.
I believe yes, and I think that Ms. Morales would speak in more detail about that as well.
Thank you. And then without further ado, Jackson.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody? And I'm asking you because I am concerned. I'm not just caring, but just talking to be talking. Thank you very much for permitting me to have this moment even after this has been taken away. First thing it was stated that the board needs some money they wanted to use some money to correct some damage that was done because of the hurricane. On page 2, what was it?
That's covered by insurance.
Thank you. Okay, that was what I was going to ask you. Don't we have insurance for that? The other thing is I understand that we're still talking about books, right? We're still talking about books.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, because...
I'm not aware of any deficiencies.
All
But
right.
I've been talking to my 6 principals pretty regularly.
All right, because we can
And I
get
haven't-
this with kennels, we can do it, we don't have to, and kennels don't cost as much as iPads. All right?
They don't have the same memory. I'm just saying.
But it would work. But some of the money I know that I pay for the books in school, kennel will take care of that very easily. Another thing is, I heard that Brother William had asked the question concerning the stigmatism of the name of the font that's on the school. So for us considered as urban schools, what are we doing to remove that stigmatism? Are we trying to enhance our school, our kids? Are we trying to go take it for either, go ahead.
I can elaborate on what he's trying to convey.
I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about this, okay? One of the amazing things about Lakewood is that we have not got an economic factor. All of the districts throughout New Jersey have a defined economic factor which determines where they're at in terms of economy. Some of the, let's say, more affluent districts are, and they're divided up by letters, E, F, G. So if you're anything past, F, G, you know that that's an affluent district. When I was working in Newark, we were an A, B district because it was, the socioeconomics. I don't know, and I have to explore this, but urban kids are God's children too. I'm just saying that I don't like labels either. One of the things that I am moving and hopefully moving towards is that we have fine instruction in every school led by principals who are instructional leaders who focus every effort, everything on how the children are learning. So I don't know if I'm the one I don't know if I've ever used the word urban. If I have, it's unfortunate. I don't want to label them anything other than kids who want to learn.
Because we know when you label a
Of course,
person, it
yes.
becomes just what you label them.
Right.
The classroom, I noticed they're getting larger. Are we going to do anything about that?
Yes, I am proposing a plan to the board, and once I get their approval, I can share it with the public
Okay.
to address the issue of what seems to be a growing population.
Well, I just want to say this, Ms. Silva, whether politically correct or not, if you're going to do that, do it quicker because there's certain requirements by law for a bond or something like that. So we can't wait to hear that at the next meeting.
We get more money in school.
We're getting our numbers from every school. We're still, registering children. So we will have a better idea. I want to know if this is a fluke this year, or is it, in terms of looking at population, you have to see, is it incrementally growing? Because my understanding for the first 2 years is that the public school population was pretty stable. This year it seems to be growing. So I have to look to see if this is just a fluke of this year, certain conditions, or is it the trend for the future? If it is, we definitely have to, so that's why I was going to propose something that would be educationally sound for our schools, as well as address the issue of the number of children that we're getting. There's a lot of things, also like second language learners. We're getting 16-year-olds that have never been in school. We have to address that. The educational program for them, which is very radically different from what we do with the children who come up through the ranks. So yes, I will be presenting that to the board and then to all of you.
Last thing is the air conditioning was discussed 3 or 4 months ago. I was really supposed to have done something about that. The parents stood up and talked about the kids having asthma and how it was hindering. So one lady was even crying. And we were promised that night that something was going to be done. That was 3 months later. Okay, and
We have put window units in a lot of the rooms, but I haven't seen the estimate.
may I ask you a personal question? Do you have a window union at your house, or you have a central air conditioning?
I have central, but I don't have.
Okay,
We didn't get any.
I quit for
No,
that.
no, we're not.
Okay. Thank you for your.
Thank you, that closes the public portion. Okay, we're up to minutes. We neglected to the minutes. Are there any, is there a motion to approve the minutes of March 3rd and May 2nd, 2011? The motion by Mr. Greenspan, a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Where's the minutes from April? And there's a couple other meetings in May.
We didn't receive it in the packet.
Okay, Rosie is saying that's where she's up to, so if you could approve these, the next meeting she'll have more for you. Okay, there's a first and second, is there a roll call?
Mr. Friedman?
He is
Occupied outside.
outside somewhere.
Mr. Greenspan?
Yes.
Ms. Micchio?
Yes.
Mr. Seitler?
Yes.
Mr. Silver?
Yes.
Mr. Grunhut?
Yes.
Okay, the next issue, we did public. Are there any correspondence and communications? Seeing none?
Mr. Seidler was here. Ms. Lockton
I'm
is
sorry,
here.
Mr. Slatkin, I'm sorry, your vote?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion will pass.
That's okay. We did committee reports, not at this meeting. The agenda, as we amended earlier, is there a motion for the agenda as amended earlier?
Motion to pass agenda as amended.
Is there a second? Is there a second to pass or not pass the agenda as amended?
Yes. Second.
There's two. Roll call. Mr. Freeman is somewhere, not in his.
Mr. Greenspan?
Yes.
Ms. Micchio?
Yes.
Mr. Seitler?
Yeah.
Mr. Silver?
Yes.
Mr. Slatkin?
Yes.
Mr. Grunhut?
Yes.
Agenda passed.
Okay, I've been given a file of addendum. I'm going to read them.
All at once.
To approve James Shoshada, IT Director, to attend. Approve James Shoshada, IT Director, to attend the Tech Forum on October 21st, 2011 at the Westchester Marriott, Tarrytown in Tarrytown, New York. Registration $195 district funds. To have a consultant, Flori Perini, novel literacy instruction, paid through Title I funds, not to exceed 50 days, effective 11-12 school year, salary $1,000 per day. Authorize the interim business administrator to submit renewal application for the 11-12 school year for temporary facilities in Ocean County Executive County Superintendent. Authorize the interim school business administrator to prepare, advertise, and solicit requests for proposals for leased educational space for preschool programs for the 11-12 school year. Under report of superintendent personnel certificated appointments, Tracy Palantino, Director of ESL and Bilingual K-12, 20 hours a week, 10 flex time from current position at Spruce Street, and 10 hours after school, effective 11-12, salary $45 an hour. Reports and recommendation of the superintendent, personnel, Schiffer Strauss, speech therapist, New Jersey, NJFMLA, unpaid, effective October 11th, terminating October 24th. Non-certificated, Nahama Najowitz, paraprofessional, Campus 1, New Jersey, leave, unpaid, effective October 10th through November 21st, tentatively. Reports and recommendations of the superintendent, personnel, certificate, termination, employee number 6871, affecting September 23rd, 2011. That employee was Rice. Approval to award RFP for professional development and embedded support for Lakewood High School teachers, incorporating the common instructional framework content competency in language arts and incorporating English language learning strategies and special ed strategies to innovative designs for education, Ramsey, New Jersey, in the amount of $75,760. There were 4 responses: Seton Hall for teachers 74, Leadership Matters 74, Total Training 70,500, and Innovative Design for Education 75,060. The one that was by Mr. Gilson, I believe, is still here, recommended, and by Ms. Silva, if I'm understanding what I'm reading, was Total Innovative Design for Education at $75,060. Approval to award RFP for professional development and embedded support for Lakewood High School teachers, building professional learning communities, content competency in math, and incorporation special ed learning strategies and ELL strategies through the school improvement grant to Innovative Design for Education in the amount of $75,060. There were 4 responses: Seton Hall $351,000, Houghton Mifflin based on fee structure, Leadership Matters $74,000, Innovative Designs for Education $75,060. Mr. Gilson, that is your recommendation, and Ms. Silva, if I'm reading this correctly. Resolution: it is noted that due in part to ongoing litigation and significant legal